Over the years, the sport of tennis has seen some of the most iconic athletes ever take to the court and leave their mark on the game. But who are the greatest among the greats? Welcome to Who's Number 1. In this video, we will take you through a journey to meet the top 10 tennis players of all time, exploring their accolades and achievements, as well as what makes each of them unique. Are you ready? Number 10, John McEnroe. McEnroe was known for his exceptional serve and volley style of play and his fiery personality on the court. He was born in 1959 in Germany, though he was American, and started playing tennis at a young age. He went pro in 1978 and retired in 1992. McEnroe's career saw him win 7 Grand Slam titles, including 3 Wimbledon titles and 4 US Open titles. He won 77 career singles titles and 78 career doubles titles in his career, which made him the male tennis player with the most combined titles won in the Open era. He was ranked number 1 in singles for 170 weeks and number 1 in doubles for 269 weeks. McEnroe used his exceptional footwork and quick reflexes to get to the net and finish points quickly. He also had a very powerful serve, which allowed him to win many free points on his service games. He was also known for his fiery personality and his tendency to argue with umpires and officials. It was this competitive nature, among other things, that made him a fan favorite. Number 9, Andre Agassi. An athletic freak, Andre Agassi was a master of powerful ground strokes. Born in 1970 in Las Vegas, Agassi won 8 Grand Slam titles, including 4 Australian Open titles, 2 US Open titles, 1 Wimbledon title, and 1 French Open title. He won 60 career singles titles, and was number 1 for 101 weeks. Agassi's career spanned 20 years, from 1986 to 2006. Agassi had exceptional speed and athleticism. He was a master of the baseline game, using his powerful ground strokes to dominate opponents from the back of the court. He was also known for his exceptional return of serve, which allowed him to break opponents' serves on a regular basis. Off the court, Agassi was known for his flamboyant fashion sense and his philanthropic work. Number 8, Jimmy Connors. Born in 1952 in Illinois, Jimmy Connors was an exceptional competitor and had a great all-around game. His career spanned 24 years, from 1972 to 1996, and it saw him win 8 Grand Slam titles, including 5 US Open titles, 2 Wimbledon titles, and 1 Australian Open title. Due to his long career, he currently still holds numerous records. He is the player who has won the most career singles titles ever in the Open era, with 109 won in 164 finals, and he is the one that has won the most singles games with 1,274 games won. He is also the player that has remained in the top 5 for more weeks in history, remaining there for 705 weeks. He was also ranked world number 1 for 268 weeks. Connors stood out thanks to his exceptional fighting spirit. He was known for his never-say-die attitude and his ability to come back from seemingly impossible positions. He had a brash and outspoken personality, which sometimes landed him in hot water with fans and officials. Number 7, Ivan Lendl. Ivan Lendl had an exceptional baseline game and a powerful serve. He was born in 1960 in the Czech Republic, and played professionally from 1978 to 1994. Lendl won 8 Grand Slam titles, including 3 US Open titles, 3 French Open titles, and 2 Australian Open titles. He was ranked world number 1 in singles for 270 weeks and won 94 singles titles. Lendl is the only man in professional tennis history to have a match-winning percentage of over 90% in 5 different years: 1982, 1985, 1986, 1987, and 1989. What made Lendl stand out from other players was his exceptional physical conditioning and his mental toughness. He was known for his rigorous training regimen and his ability to stay focused and composed under pressure. Lendl was known for his reserved and serious demeanor, which sometimes made him seem unapproachable to fans and the media. Number 6, Bjorn Borg. Bjorn Borg was known for his exceptional calm and cool demeanor on the court. He was born in 1956 in Sweden and, despite being so high on the list, he only played professionally from 1973 until 1982, when he shockingly retired at the young age of 26. He made some comebacks in the years that followed, but never at his previous level. In his short career, Borg won 11 Grand Slam titles, from which 6 were French Open titles and 5 were Wimbledon titles. He won 64 career singles titles, and he is the only player ever to win the Channel Slam, which involves winning the French Open and the Wimbledon title in the same calendar year, 3 times. In 1979, Borg became the first player ever to earn more than $1 million in prize money in a single season. What made Borg stand out was his ability to stay calm and composed under pressure. He was also a master of the clay court game, using his exceptional footwork and precision to dominate opponents on clay courts. Would Borg have become the greatest tennis player ever had he not retired so early? That's a big what if in the history of tennis. Number 5. Rod Laver. Born in 1938 in Queensland, Australia, Rodney Laver won 11 Grand Slam titles, including 3 Australian Open titles, 2 French Open titles, 4 Wimbledon titles, and 2 US Open titles, in a career that spanned from 1962 to 1979. He won 200 career singles titles, the most ever, and is the only man in history to win the Grand Slam twice in singles, which involves winning all 4 major championships in a calendar year. He did it in 1962 and 1969, and the latter remains the only time a man has done so in the Open era. Laver had exceptional all-around game and an ability to adapt to any playing surface. He was a master of the serve and volley game and of the baseline game. He had a humble and gracious demeanor, and his exceptional skill and dedication to the sport have made him a true legend of tennis. Number 4. Pete Sampras. Of Greek descent, Petros Sampras was born in 1971 in California. Sampras' 14-year career, which lasted from 1988 to 2002, saw him win 14 Grand Slam titles, which was an all-time record at the time of his retirement. Of the 14 titles, 7 were Wimbledon titles, 5 were US Open titles, and 2 were Australian Open titles. He also won 64 career singles titles and held the number 1 position for 286 weeks, which is the 3rd most all-time. He also has an Open-era record of 6 consecutive year-end number 1 rankings from 1993 to 1998. What made Sampras stand out from other players was his exceptional serve and volley game and his mastery of the grass court game, using his powerful serve and quick reflexes to dominate opponents on Wimbledon's fast courts. Off the court, Sampras was known for his quiet and reserved personality. Number 3. Roger Federer. The Swiss tennis legend recently retired in 2022 after 24 years playing professionally. He was born in 1981 in Basel and started his pro career in 1998, a career that would see him win 20 Grand Slam titles, including a record 8 Wimbledon titles, 6 Australian Open titles, 5 US Open titles, and 1 French Open title. He also won 103 career singles titles, second ever only to Jimmy Connors. By age 27, he had surpassed Sampras' career record of 14 Grand Slam titles won. Throughout his career, Federer was ranked number 1 for 310 weeks, including a record 237 consecutive weeks. He is the second longest reigning number 1 in tennis history, and he is the only tennis player in history to hold 5 or more titles in 3 of the 4 Grand Slams. Federer had an effortless style of play and exceptional all-around game. He was a master of the serve and volley game and had a gracious and humble demeanor, which made him a fan favorite around the world. Number 2. Rafael Nadal. Born in 1986 in Mallorca, Spain, Rafael Nadal is one of the only 2 still active players on this list. He made his debut in 2001, at 15 years old, and so far, his career has seen him be ranked world number 1 a total of 209 weeks, including a record 912 consecutive weeks in the top 10, never having left the top 10 from April 2005 to March 2023. Nadal has won 22 Grand Slam titles, including a record 14 French Open titles, 4 US Open titles, 2 Wimbledon titles, and 2 Australian Open titles. He has also won 92 career singles titles, and his 81 consecutive wins on clay is the longest single surface win streak in the Open era. He is undoubtedly the clay king. For over a decade, Nadal has dominated men's tennis along with Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic as the Big Three, collectively considered by many to be the 3 greatest male tennis players of all time. Nadal is one of only 2 men to complete the career Golden Slam in singles. After defeating Djokovic in the 2010 US Open final, then 24-year-old Nadal became the youngest man in the Open era to achieve the career Grand Slam, and the first man to win majors on 3 different surfaces, hard, grass, and clay, in the same year, called the Surface Slam. What makes Nadal stand out from other players is his exceptional physical conditioning and his grinding style of play. He is a master of the clay court game, using his exceptional footwork and powerful topspin to dominate opponents on clay courts. Number 1, Novak Djokovic. And we arrive at the number 1 spot, held by the other still active player Novak Djokovic. Djokovic was born in 1987 in Belgrade, Serbia, and has been competing professionally since 2003. Now, why is Djokovic in front of Federer and Nadal? Well, Djokovic's career has seen him win a record 22 Grand Slam titles, tied with Nadal, including a record 10 Australian Open titles, 5 Wimbledon titles, 3 US Open titles, and 3 French Open titles. He has also won 93 career singles titles, and is the only man in tennis history to be the reigning champion of the 4 majors at once across 3 different surfaces. He is also the first man in the Open era to achieve a double career Grand Slam in singles and the only player to complete the career Golden Masters in singles by winning all of the 9 Masters tournaments, which he has done twice. He has held the number 1 ranking for a record 383 weeks and counting, as he is currently the world's number 1. The second in the ranking is Federer with 310 weeks. What makes Djokovic stand out from other players is his exceptional mental strength and his versatility on the court, as well as his incredible talent. Off the court, Djokovic is known for his quirky personality and his dedication to fitness and nutrition. He is a vegan and has written a book about his plant-based diet, which he believes has helped him stay healthy and perform at a high level for years. So, we arrive at the end of the list. Who do you think is the greatest tennis player of all time? Do you agree with us, and think it is the hard king Djokovic? Or do you think it is the clay king Nadal? Or perhaps the grass king Federer? Let us know in the comments section below. Also, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. This is Who's Number 1, see you next time.